Hi there, Jared Brown here, Australian expat financial planner based here in Singapore. Now, a topic that is front of mind for so many is the rental crisis that we're all facing in Singapore. So, a bit of an update, we're in early June 2023, and we are finally seeing some degree of sanity return to the rental market here in Singapore. And this is really being driven by three key reasons. The first of these is that the cooling measures that the Singapore government introduced, reducing the demand for investment properties, is starting to have an impact. This is coming at a time when they're also rapidly ramping up supply. We're expecting around 100,000 new dwellings over a period of just 2.5 to 3 years. So naturally, while demand is reducing at a time when supply is increasing, this is going to start to put in some downward pressure in terms of rental prices. The second key issue that we've seen, or the second driver, is that mortgage repayments are coming due. Now, if you think about interest rates, obviously they've been rising right across the globe, but investment interest rates in Singapore have risen from around 0.7% pre-COVID to around 3.5 to 4% now. That is a massive increase, and if you're a landlord in Singapore with a mortgage, naturally that is going to start to bite. So given that we are seeing these mortgage repayments due, fixed interest rates are expiring, naturally they need to claw back some of that revenue as quickly as possible. So let's say, for example, they might have been renting to you at $5,000 a month, hoping that they could get maybe 6,000. So an extra $1,000. Now, if they decide or you decide to move out and that property is vacant for a month, that is going to take them 5 months just to make up that difference. And if they're not sitting on a large enough buffer, naturally that is going to really start to hurt financially. So we are starting to see a lot of landlords now come down in terms of what they were originally expecting with their rental prices. The third key item that we're seeing is that the Monetary Authority of Singapore is suggesting that we're getting closer and closer, if not already there, at the peak of this rate rising cycle. So as a business, as a landlord, we now know, or at least have a bit more clarity of what our interest rates are likely to look like going forward, and therefore we can manage our rental expectations. The market gets a better idea of what net yields should look like, that is the rental income divided by the value of the property. So that is all starting to settle. We are certainly not expecting, so some bad news for you, that we will go back to the COVID levels that we saw in terms of rental prices, but thankfully things are starting to settle down. So if you have any questions at all, if you want to know how to check out what is a fair price, what some areas are going for, you can check out a recent blog post that I've written that outlines some of the recent transactions. You can also check out the URA website for the actual transacted prices. So don't just rely on the listing prices for a guide, do check out what they're actually transacting at. I hope that's helpful, but drop me a note with any questions. Thank you for tuning in.